Welcome to class. Please feel free to make any adjustments that you need in today's practice. Coming into a child's pose, Balasana, to begin. Hands flipped upwards in a gesture of offering and letting go. Just notice all that is. And continuing as you come into your puppy pose. Feel free to bend your elbows, forehead on the floor. Perhaps you notice the movement, the flow or stagnation of the breath. Can we notice without trying to fix? Can you be a loving presence in your own life instead of fixing or pushing yourself out of what you're experiencing? This is a safe space on our mat. Can you smile in? And give yourself space to allow it all to be. Carefully coming out now into a tabletop position and cat-cowing the spine, inhaling, concaving, and exhaling, rounding up. Keep going with that. As you notice everything, we're articulating our vertebra. So concaving the spine and then rounding. Getting the energy flowing. Have a little wiggle now from side to side, releasing tension in the sides of our hips. And then coming into a half up dog, inhale. Exhale, belly squeezes. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, unfurl, rounding. Inhale, half up dog, belly in. Exhale, belly squeezes, reversal into like a child's pose before rounding up through the spine again and unfurling into our half up dog. Hands to the floor now, hands under shoulders. Lift the top chest first without pressing through the hands. And then lightly press into the hands using the strength of your back, Bhujangasana. Little pause. Coming all the way back down. Inhale. Exhaling, unfurling into our Bhujangasana, belly in. Inhale, we lower. Exhale, belly squeezes, rippling back up into your Cobra. Inhale, lowering back down. Exhale, belly lifts us back into the Cobra. Inhale, lowering back down. Squeeze one heel towards the buttocks and then the other. Optional, take hold of the feet, stretch the thighs. Bring your cheek to the other side. And then step one, lift the top chest with or without taking hold of the feet. Press your pelvis forward. And step two, lift the knees, bow pose. how can you adjust to facilitate the energy flow so it's not getting stuck in the low back? Disperse that back bend. Notice the breath. Coming all the way out, hands into a half cactus and flipping over onto one side. Option our toes to the floor behind us. This is a heart opener, a chest stretch. So most important is that back hand. And then changing sides. We're basically lying on the side of the body. And your hand can be in front, the top hand, or it can be behind the buttocks. More of a shoulder opener. The legs can be collapsed on top of each other is another option. Coming back through the center. And back into our Bhujangasana with the option to release one hand upwards and then the other. We really need to press the buttocks forward here, the pelvis forward as you keep going with this. And shore up the low back like we're rounding. Come back down. Squeeze your heels in towards your buttocks for our second round of bow pose. First stretch, then lift the top chest and maybe your knees, rocking forward and back. Can you draw your head back? Try and make the energetic the most important part of the practice today as you come out. Cheek to one side. And then changing opposite cheek to the floor. Hands under shoulders. Now, this is a full up dog, but I have my toes on the floor. So nice for warm-ups. Nice to warm up the spine here. Your muscles are protecting your low back, so like you're trying to get rid of the back bend in the low back, always in back bends. Elbows under shoulders, ugly plank. Exhale, rounding. Think of protecting your low back. Inhale, lowering back down. So this is going to coach us or warm us up for back bends. Exhale, we lift. The tailbone tucks under. And then lower back down, inhale. Let's repeat. Now you can't round your low back too much. What can sometimes happen is we lift the buttocks instead of rounding. So watch out for that. Hands under shoulders, half up dog. My toes are on the floor this time. Stretch the front line of the body. Then tuck the toes, belly squeezes, Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Breathe. Just notice. And anytime you feel like you can't notice the emotional or breath anymore, bring your knees to the floor, take a little break. Unless you're simply doing this just primarily for the physical, right? You still notice the breath, still make those adjustments, but perhaps less rest. Coming back into our forward fold now. Hands on the floor is an option. And I'm unfurling slightly and then coming back down again, opening the vertebra in my spine, releasing the hips in our forward fold. And then stacking the vertebra by pressing into the toes, into the balls of the feet. Hands behind the head now, lift the top chest. up towards the ceiling. Let's help ourselves by sticking the bum out and then lifting the top chest, so C shaping, before releasing one arm and the other with the spine neutral now. So swap hands, training ourselves to lift the top chest, upper body back bend. Hands on our buttocks for our second round of back bend. And lift the top chest, again C-shaping first to lift the sternum to the sky. Neutralizing, keeping upper body back bend. Hands walk down the thighs. This is our option 2. Is your low back basically neutral? Walk your hands back up. Take a little moment. Energy of the quad, hips smooth towards the groins, and press your hands forward now, lengthening the spine. You can bring your buttocks further forward over the heels than I'm doing if you want, if you're warmed up enough. Hands to the floor, Salamba Uttanasana. Bend your knees if you need to, but the sit bones, we're training them to lift up here. The arms act like a weight to release the tension from the spine. Make sure that feels good. Bring your gaze in towards your heart center, the breath, the flow or non-flow. In yoga, this energy flow is like feeding our chakras. So with the physical energy, lifting the energy up through the body, we're bringing energy to places like the heart chakra to help us release emotional tension. That also works really well, even if you're just working on the physical level or think you are. Walk your hands back out into a down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Rippling forward, full or half plank, and rocking forward and back now. Feel free to lower your knees, but keep your belly engaged. Back to our down dog. So feeding ourselves energetically. Keep it out of the joints. Lengthen your spine in your down dog, notice. Rippling forward, full or half plank with salsa hips, rocking our hips from side to side. Try to keep the breath flowing. Yes, the belly is tight. You can send the breath into the sides and backs of the ribs and lungs. Down dog. Right leg extends back and up towards the sky. Draw a big circle for the hip flexor. And then change the direction of that circle with the leg for the hip. Inhale, thigh to the sky. Exhale, center body, tiger curl. Breathe freely as you pause. Inhale, thigh to the sky. Exhale, cross body, tiger curl. Breathe. Notice. Inhale, thigh to the sky. Exhale, outer body, tiger curl. Pause. Inhale, foot towards the right thumb. Release your hip flexor as you bring the back knee to the floor. So find the tight spot. Breathe into it. Optional, lift the back knee for your twist. Feel the squeeze around your shoulder blades. Back knee to the floor again, finding your half split. Think of sticking your bum out long back. Notice the breath. Can you smile in lovingly as you make that square shape with your legs now? In exhale, we round. Inhale, like the low back stays rounded, lift the top chest. Keeping the upper body back bend, step the front foot forward more. Crescent moon lunge, Kali mudra with the hands. So pistol grip, also known as. Think of rounding the low back. I know it's not happening, but think of that to protect your back, to build strength. So we're offering our heart from a powerful position, not throwing it against the wall. Knee to knee transition, step back into your full or half plank. I'm doing fist plank. So this channel, we do a lot of strength building. This is just an option, this fist plank. Is your spine protected? Knees to the floor. Child's pose. Allow the energy you built from the physical to nourish you now. So receive the poses by resting, by noticing the breath. Coming out and up for our Ustrasana, our camel pose. The buttocks moves behind the knees first to take hold of the feet. I do have a tutorial on this. And I'm reaching one arm back. And then I'm swapping. This is a much deeper option. You'll notice my low back is basically neutral. The big back bend is in my upper body. Now I'm flipping the hands around. So my fingers are facing my knees. And I would keep them like this. I have my hands, I flip them again, but I'm simply exploring something. You can do that, sure. But I would keep your hands facing your toes as you reach back with one arm and then the other. Belly squeezes. And your puppy pose. So whatever back bends you're doing, think of muscular engagement, protection for the physical body, energy flow, rather than shapes. Coming out, coming into a Malasana, rocking forward and back, so releasing the low back, breathing, noticing, nourishing the heart with physical energy to begin. And Skandasana, so making the shape that I'm making, if that's an option for you, rocking forward and back, flexing the straight leg, then either with or without the hands, come over to the other side. Coming back up and into the center, lunging from side to side. Press your elbow into the inner thigh to open the knee out. Enjoy this stretch and release as you breathe and notice. Step your hands forward, so long spine, before you twist. One hand is in the center of the mat. Release the hand upwards. Look at the hand. Length is first. And then swap hands. Hand behind the opposite buttock. open the shoulders, so getting a squeeze behind the heart, right? And then hand to the sky. Look up with your gaze, seem to be uplifting. Walk your hands back and your head back between your legs now. Wide-legged forward fold, blood to the brain. And allow the energy to flow. Release on the exhalation. Notice if the breath is still stagnant, indication that we're holding on to some energy. Now, without trying to fix, because it's important to receive that message, to understand that we're actually doing or what we're doing. So notice. Walk your hands up to the top of the mat, step back, knees to the floor, unfurl, full or half chaturanga, 3 rounds. 3 rounds of 3 here. Inhale, we lengthen, stick the bum out. Exhale, we unfurl. Again, we do these lots on this channel. And 3 rounds, 1 to 3 of chaturanga. If you can do 1, awesome. Inhale, send your sit bones back. Exhale, rounding, engaging the belly. And then our 1 to 3. Inhale, we lengthen. Tuck your toes under, optional, full or half plank. Exhale, full or half chaturanga. Inhale, full or half up dog. Lower your pelvis to the floor, hands under shoulders, and our 3rd round of bow pose, Dhanurasana. Take hold of the feet. You can do this without taking hold of the feet. Lift the top chest. Keep breathing. Lift the knees, step 2, rock forward and back. Draw that head back. So you're feeling the tension release around the shoulder blades, behind the heart chakra, around the muscles, your pectoral muscles, the shoulders, the chest. And then elbows to the floor, ugly plank, round up on the exhalation. Hold, breathe freely. Inhale, lower. Exhale, rounding up through your vertebra. Inhale, lower. Hands under shoulders again. Full or half up dog, your variation. Breathe. Exhale, tuck your toes, belly lifts you back up into your down dog. So the belly is shoring up the spine in that transition. That's really important if we're repeating a certain sequence like up dog to down dog continuously. Revolve down dog, hand steps into the center of the mat or takes hold of our opposite ankle. Notice the non-physical as we swap sides. So breath, sensations. Very hard to define what's non-physical, right? Because it will show up in the physical body when we're holding the breath or when we're tense. Walk your hands back to your feet, forward fold. If you're feeling numbness or nothingness, no worries. That is somethingness in disguise. Just notice. Press through the balls of the feet, unfurl to stand. Feet hip distance apart. Now our controlled upper body back bend. Stick the bum out, lift the chest. Option to walk our hands down the thighs. I found it quite challenging balance-wise practicing this in the brightness outside. So feel free to go a bit deeper if that serves you physically. Hips move towards the groins, getting that hip flexion before pressing the hands forward, Qigong style lengthening. We're broadening through the back of the thighs here. Then hands towards the floor. Salamba Uttanasana, your elbows can be on your thighs. Breathe and notice. See if you can relax the lungs before the breath comes in and out. Walking our hands back out into our down dog. Left leg draws a big circle. We swap direction with that circle for our hip joint. Inhale, thigh to the sky. Exhale, center body tiger curl. Lower the back knee too if you need to do it from tabletop. Inhale, thigh to the sky. Exhale, cross body tiger curl. Allow the breath to flow. Inhale, thigh to the sky. Exhale, outer body tiger curl, big belly squeeze. Step that left foot to the left thumb. And hip flexor release. Back knee lowers to the floor. We have this half split option. And feel free to pause the video here. I'm pretty sure I took hold of the back foot for a quad stretch on the other side. So half split, continue if you want, or quad split and then quad stretch and then half split. Now, lifting the back knee and finding our twist. Enjoy that engagement of the back thigh. Front of the thigh is lifting the back of the thigh up towards the ceiling or sky. Back knee to the floor and make that square shape with your feet, your legs. Inhale, exhaling, we're rounding. We're pausing, we're breathing. Feel a stretch down your front thigh. This for me gets into my psoas. It's a hip flexor muscle, but a very deep one. Inhale, lift the top chest only. So hip points in. And then step the front foot forward. Option crescent moon lunge. Make it controlled. It's not just about protecting the spine in the control we're working on. This is about energy flow. If the energy physically is getting stuck in the low back, you're feeling it all in the low back, well, the energy metaphysically is also getting stuck there. Breathe, notice. Our physical, so hands to the floor, we're releasing the emotional heart center. Knee to knee transition, fist plank option with a leg lift. Keeping the pelvis rock steady. There's the challenge as we continue with this. Lowering our knees. Make a diamond shape with your hands for 3 rounds of 3 push-ups. So like Chaturanga. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, unfurl, rounding. And then 3 rounds of 3. Breathe freely. And then send the sit bones back on the inhalation. Keep going with that. We've another 2 rounds. Upper back stays in line with the shoulder blades. Like our ugly plank shape for the spine. Why? Because it engages the front line, including our abdominal muscles, to protect the body, to make this shape useful, to build strength, to lift the energy. This should be our last round here of 1 to 3 diamond push-ups. Hands back under the shoulders, rippling forward, full or half plank, full or half Chaturanga Dandasana, upward facing dog, sternum lifts. You know, once we bring that strength into our back bends, it actually feels glorious. We're lowering our pelvis to the floor, taking another round of bow pose. It does so much for the body. And then lift the top chest and the knees maybe, draw the head back. Every round we're limbering up. We're never pushing anything, never forcing the body. Can you allow the breath to flow in whatever shape you're making? And then bringing our cheek to one side, hands to the floor, rest, energy flow. We want to use that energy we've worked for, so allow it in as you change cheeks, allow it into every cell. Come back into your full or half up dog. My toes are on the floor again. Holding maybe. Lift the belly to bring you back into down dog. With our noticing, can we facilitate it, the energy flow around the heart, around the top chest? Revolved down dog option. Releasing down the side of our thigh. And then swapping sides with that. Maybe we're beginning to relax the lungs before the breath comes in and out. So working with the breath a little bit by consciously relaxing. Down dog. Knees lower. Back to our Ustrasana. Hands into prayer pose. Lean your buttocks back behind the knees. I'm sticking my bum out to lift the top chest again. Then I'm neutralizing the spine and reaching both arms back behind me. This is just an option. Eventually, I would like to bring them to the floor from that position. Hands back into prayer pose. Taking hold of the heels for your Ustrasana. And I'm actually bringing my hands to the floor. Fingers are facing my heels. And then my elbows. Then the crown of my head. This is the first time I did this. I wasn't aware I was able to do it. Belly to the thighs. So please be very mindful if you're trying this. Puppy pose. It is all about energy flow, remember. So taking care of our body. Stepping your foot out to the side, thread the needle or rolling panda. Now we're working on around the shoulder blades. The energy lines in the back of the arms are very much related to letting go. Large intestine, small intestine meridian. And I always have these in mind, the meridians, as well as the chakras, as I practice anything. And we're changing sides with this. Rolling panda or thread the needle, getting that squeeze around the shoulder blade. It's like the upper back is slightly rounding. We're filling it out. Coming back to the center, I'm coming to the side for my Skandasana now. And without using the hands, this is an option, come in and out of your Skandasana on each side. The knee still opens evenly over the toes, so take steps if you need to use your hands on the floor. Definitely a building block towards this pose. Everything is steps, that's all. I'm sitting on my Skandasana. There's a little bit of a slant on the floor, on the ground here, so try and keep your buttocks lifted and then lower it and come into your equivalent of a side bend. How does it feel? Are you making circus poses, just all about aesthetics, or are you doing a healing practice? Coming into your Skandasana first on the other side, then sitting the buttocks to the floor. Opposite hand takes hold of our ankle, and the top arm stretches out in the direction of the other foot. It is an option to take hold of the foot. It's spine length, physically. Length and rotation we're working on. You can lean your head a little bit more back than I'm doing here. So we're just always, all of us, learning what our body feels like in space. Using that lunge side to side now, the foot stays on the floor to release down the sides of the legs. I love this one. Walking your hands back, your head back between the feet for your wide-legged forward fold. Press into the outside corners of the feet. Can you relax the face and jaw? Hands in front, step the feet or jump them together. My feet are completely together for a forward fold, taking hold of the back of the heels. This is simply an option, or elbows. Just moving a snail here. So you stay in your Salamba Uttanasana. I don't want to step in them. Breathe, notice. I love that saying that, if I'm ever in the wrong place, I hope someone moves me with as much care as I would move a spider or an ant out of my way. No need to step on things. So coming back into a half split on the left side, or working on warm up, or simply full split, depends on your flexibility, which is a gradual thing maybe for some of us. My body is actually designed for strength, so I work on my flexibility more, right, than flexibility. Maybe that changes over time, who knows. So I'm coming back to the center now, more squaring my hips, and I'm playing around with a little bit of movement to feel that release. How's the energy flowing in the top chest? And coming all the way out. Half pigeon, releasing the glutes and the hips. So with the left foot, your variation. When we're working more with the metaphysical, often we step back a little bit from our capabilities, physically speaking. Listen, there's always an element of that in our yoga practice, because we can't separate the physical from the emotional, right? Extend the arms forward, maybe. So can you keep noticing the breath when you take that physical variation? Can you keep noticing how you're feeling emotionally? Can you smile in lovingly at any emotional sensations? Just allowing them to be and process. We have the option of mermaid pose, taking hold of the back foot, hips face forward. Get rid of the low body back bend as much as possible. Maybe toes slide into the crook of your elbow, and you take hold of the top hand with the bottom hand. It's an upper body back bend and a hip flexor release. So make the shape that does that. Maybe you're not holding onto the hand, etc. Now coming into a Bhujangasana, bringing our feet to face forward, having a little rock of those knees, releasing around your glutes and hips. Noticing breath. So when we're tense or anxious or feeling emotions, there tends to be a lot of stagnation of the breath. First step is to notice. And my second step, not all the time, but very often, is to relax the lungs. Half pigeon on the opposite side now, your variation. Maybe you're facilitating energy flow by relaxing the lungs before the breath comes in and out. Maybe you still feel nothing. It's okay. It's a survival mechanism, that numbness. Sometimes it's too much and it's like breaking a part of ourselves off so that we can survive. But healing means reintegrating. Now, we're never digging anything up, but just notice. Now, you have an option of mermaid. The heel moves in towards the groin. You bend that back knee, maybe you take hold of the foot, maybe it slides into the crook of the elbow. You decide what the truth of the pose is for you. Maybe you interlace the hands, lift the top chest, square the hips so both facing equally forward. We're relaxing the lungs before we inhale and exhale. And then coming out, releasing that. Bring our feet into a Bhujangasana again. Reach your arms forward in front, forward fold. So we stick the bum out, we send the sit bones back. I still am working more and more on this hip flexor flexibility. Allow yourself to be. Coming out of this, rolling down through your spine. Exhale, belly squeezes. Inhale, lengthen over those legs. Exhale, rounding back down through the spine, one vertebra at a time. Hands over the top of the head. Exhale, belly squeezes, lifts us. Inhale, stretching out over those legs. Navel to the spine. This is Pilates. So we're working a lot on rounding and Pilates. Keep going with those full roll-ups with the hamstring stretch. It's really for the back. Reaching out over those legs. Now, just a reminder here that huge apologies, I forgot a split warm-up or practice on the other side. So you can take your forward fold here, your seated forward fold, or you can take your split practice warm-up on the other side. You can pause the video and do both. Send your sit bones back. Allow yourself to close in protectively as you notice. For many of us, our hearts are open, and there is, particularly at the beginning of our awareness journey, the huge potential for that energy to be misused by others. And closing the heart in helps, this protective gesture, not permanently, but in our yoga practice. Rolling back down through the spine. Bridge pose. This is our step 1 option. Let's practice it first. Tuck the shoulders under, lifting one heel and then the other. Now I have huge warm-ups in other videos for this option. We can lift the knee and then the other knee. Keep your pelvis steady. This is Pilates. You can lift your toes and pulses. It's like an elevator is lifting the buttocks up. Swap sides. The toe reaches up, little pulses. The buttocks never lowers, it never slumps down towards the floor. Lift your hips again. Press your buttocks up towards the ceiling. Lower back down. That's our step 1 option, is bridge. Now, full wheel. This is your harder option. Press the chest behind us. I love this pose. So I never lost the ability to do it, which means, I'm not boasting, but this means it's easier for me, right? If I've always had the ability to do this, this is not a challenge pose for me. A forward fold was very much a challenge pose for me. So work with your body mindfully. We all have different physical abilities. Now you've the option of lifting one leg, one heel, one knee, one toe up towards the ceiling. But you need the pelvic stability. We're swapping sides now to do that. Otherwise, you're stressing your low back. Don't do that. So build strength. You can do the option, so I'm holding this, of bridge pose and heel lifts. That's what builds the strength, the required strength. Imagine there's a wall behind you and you're pressing your chest into a wall. So we're really opening around the armpits, the chest, the shoulders. Lower back down one vertebra at a time. Take your time with that. No rush. I'm bringing my legs to the sky now, so very nice inversion, and this would be a step 1 inversion. Blood flow back to the torso. Legs into Supta Baddha Konasana. That's an option. Or I'm doing Padmasana, half lotus, and then option of full lotus. This should be easy. Again, just a reminder, I never lost the ability to do that. Not a boast, but I'm telling you, this is easy for me. Forward fold is work. So fish pose, your legs in Supta Baddha Konasana. That is beautiful. That is perfect. Half lotus, full lotus, whatever. I'm sitting on my hands. Metaphysical benefits, upliftment. Heart is higher than the head. All that suffering, I was going to say torture, we're now lifting it up through the chakras so we can benefit from it, the raising of consciousness. From our suffering, from our grief, from our sadness. And then carefully bring your vertebra back to the floor. Now, only practicing a shoulder stand variation. I have my legs in Padmasana. You can have them extended up towards the sky. If you're on a hard floor, keep, as I'm doing here, the buttocks is not over the shoulders at all. It's leaning back. But if you are propped, using props accordingly, you can bring your shoulders, more over your body, more over your shoulders. Coming out slowly. And then swapping the cross of the legs. I'm going to leave you some silence. And please forgive my chatter. I just want to make sure that you're safe. So you pick your variation. I know you know your body. And then rolling back down through the spine, sitting on our hands. First for our fish pose, Legs can be in a butterfly shape, half or full Padmasana. Just notice. Carefully coming out your variation of shoulder stand. You can have your buttocks much more over your elbows, like a banana-shaped shoulder stand. Seem to be safer if you don't know how to use props. I have a very soft sand surface, soft grass over sand here. Coming all the way out. Unfurling our legs. Have a little release of your ankles and feet. Before working on our Ustrasana, step one option, open up your arms and the top chest lifts towards the ceiling. That's our variation one. Or take hold of one heel and then the opposite heel. I'm lowering my elbows to the floor. And now I'll walk my hands closer to my calves. So bringing my head closer to the feet. The crown of the head is on the floor. And then as mindfully as possible coming out. So first time for me practicing that without props. Take a moment. Allow the body to recover in your balasana. And then extending the legs out one at a time. And coming into your Shavasana or taking some more cool down poses. Remembering the philosophy of energy flow. So do what you need to lift the energy up through the chakras as well as the physical body. And then taking a few moments to allow the tide of the breath to move in and out. So receiving the benefits of our physical practice. Actually putting the cake in the oven if you'd like. By resting.